Welcome, viewers. Besides unemployment, there's one other economic indicator that is causing the recovery in the United States to be very slow, and that is the U.S. housing crisis. Now, I'd like to speak a few minutes on that subject. First thing I want to talk about is all the shadow inventory. What's happening right now is we are seeing across the United States many situations where there are multiple bids on a single house. Now, how can that be if there's an absolute glut of inventory of foreclosures everywhere? Well, the reality is banks are artificially holding that inventory back. They are not releasing it into the market at this time. I sit right here at Ground Zero in Las Vegas. I came to Las Vegas because, in my opinion, Las Vegas is the best place to capitalize and get the highest returns in real estate in the United States at this time. Now, the reason I say that is there's absolutely no guarantee of capital appreciation, in my opinion, for the next several years. However, the cash flows here are phenomenal. I'm buying condominiums in a great area of town, Summerlin, for $25,000 for one bedrooms, $35,000 for two bedrooms, and $45,000 for three bedrooms that previously sold up well over $200,000. And the cash flows on them are anywhere between $650 and close to $1,000 a month. Now, those cash flows or those rents are lower than they used to be, but you understand that the cash flows are still fantastic. The reason I talk about that and discuss that right now is because it's an example that even in these very, very tough times, it is very possible to make money in real estate. However, you are not going to make it through capital appreciation, generally. Now, that could be an exception in certain areas, but overall, it's not the way to make money. You will have to be driven by cash flow. Or another way is one of my good friends, Kevin Kelly. He works the trustee sales locally here in Las Vegas, and he has bought, renovated, and sold 61 houses profitably. Now, another reason that I mention that is whenever he lists a home, just about in every case, he has multiple bids. Well, how can that be in Las Vegas, an area where there are so many foreclosures that are happening? Well, the reality is when people walk into a home and it's not a short sale and it's not a foreclosure that's badly beaten up, all of a sudden that attracts because they know they can buy that house here and right now. So with unemployment at 10% and an estimated 10 million foreclosures in the United States, it is my estimation that the housing crisis will last another 5 years, or at least up to another 5 years. I am in Ground Zero, once again, which is Las Vegas, and it absolutely blew me away. I saw a statistic last month that 94% of all houses bought in Las Vegas in the month of September were bought by investors. The second state or the second city with the largest number of investor-bought properties is Miami at 75% and Phoenix, Arizona at 56%. Once again, the reason I mention that is because there are great places to make money, but sometimes you have to step out of the city or town where you live to find the very best opportunity. Now, first of all, in the housing crisis, it all was instigated in the beginning by ridiculous financing through the subprime mortgages, where they were packaged up, bundled up, and sold off, and then those banks had a healthy appetite to go out and collect more subprime mortgages. Those were people who barely qualified. Now, where we're at in the second wave is a wave of foreclosures that are mainly based upon unemployment. Unemployment is at over 10% in the United States, but when you factor in underemployed workers and people who've stopped looking for work, or people whose benefits have expired, you are up very likely close to, if not exceeding, 20% of the population is currently unemployed. Those are massive, massive numbers, and the second wave that's actually driving the foreclosures. And what's extremely interesting is those foreclosures are now being driven into the middle class and the upper class. Remember, so wave one I said was the subprime. Well, what's happening in wave two? It's affecting the white collar workers. And what we're seeing is a wave of foreclosure where the mortgages are much higher based in the several $100,000 range. Now the third wave, which we are going to see between mid 2010 to late 2011, is when all of these adjustable rate mortgages come up and they're reset, where the principal mortgage payment on a monthly basis will skyrocket, in many cases 30-40%. And then we're going to see an additional wave of foreclosures. So once again, I don't see recovery in the U.S. housing market for up to 5 years. However, along the way, there are still plenty of ways to make money.